Good afternoon. I'm doing my presentation on Xenobots, the robots of the future. They were first invented at Tufts University in 2019. They are derived from stem cells. Stem cells are undifferentiated cell, usually found in the early stages of development. Um, Stem cells they can turn into any different type of tissue if cultivated that way. In this case, they were cultivated for skin and heart cells. Um, these bots, or they're really organisms, they're just deemed bots because they are considered programmable. And in that case, they can be very beneficial to humans. They have been known to survive for days, even weeks, without the basic nutrients, which was a plus for scientists. Um, so when they first came to be, or before they were bots, they were stem cells, and specifically the skin and heart cells of the African species of frog, and they were combined in such a way which was given to them from a computer program with an algorithm for evolution. This algorithm for basic life uh, simulated evolution at an accelerated rate. This created life forms that um, were able to reproduce, and with the reproduction, the weak ones were had died off based on the computer program. So the ones that survived, scientists began to mold the stem cells in the shape of the organisms on the computer program. Um, Once they became clumps of cells, they were engineered almost identical to a Tetris block, and they're about the size of a head of a needle. The bots themselves, they once they were engineered and put together in a petri dish, they were found to pulsate as if a heart was pulsating, and they moved together. They were also pulsating in unison. These beings are three-dimensional, and the scientists had seen that once they were damaged, they would go into a self-healing phase, and the scientists began to experiment by slicing them almost completely in half, leaving a slight bit attached, and they, in their words, said they would just zip back up together. Um, Xenobots will be a huge benefit in the future. Um, Specifically, they have been used or will be used for targeting toxic spills. There are where humans can't go. They may be we might be able to release them, and they can retrieve whatever microscopic information that we need. The most interesting thing to me was they could be used to unclog arteries, which would be a huge benefit for a lot of health conditions that plague Americans today. In my conclusion, since science is going at an accelerated rate, they say that technology comes out exponentially. It used to be more linear, uh, and it is somewhat of a concern to most humans with the inventions that, especially biological inventions, people consider scientists to play God, or even in war situations where if these nanobots were able to be successfully used to uh, go invasively into the human body and move drugs to specified cells, could a terrorist, a biological terrorist, use this information to uh, commit an attack? So it goes. It has to be a lot of regulations and has to be carefully implemented. And nanobots are being used today. They are used in hospitals to find. They are used to monitor glucose levels, sugar levels in the blood, and Even in the military, they're used for some type of medical surveillance, even for amputees. So they're definitely very interesting and something that I may even want to research further in the future. Thank you.